Assalamu alaikum, Bilal Technology Wala here once again with our series of TED Talk reviews. So the TED Talk which I am going to review today is Stop Teaching and Start Learning by Jawaharial, and I am going to explain the key outcomes from this podcast so that everyone which who is watching my podcast my can take lessons and apply in their daily life. So, the first point from the TED Talk is learning happens best when student own the process. The speaker of the video says students learn deeply when they take ownership instead of being passive listeners. Teachers should guide, not dominate. For example, instead of lecturing about circuits for 40 minutes, you assign students to build a small LED circuit in groups. They search, ask questions, fail, fix mistakes, and learn by doing. So this is the idea behind the learning happens when students on the process. The teacher should not dominate the class, but instead they should guide them or assign them the task, so that they can learn from the process of failure, and then they are going to achieve the exact task which the a teacher want to teach them. So the second point from the video is teaching should shift from instruction to facilitation. The modern teacher is no longer the source of all knowledge. Students can access information instantly. The teacher's role is to facilitate learning process. For example, if a person is teaching software skills, instead of showing every step, you give students a real world task like design a poster in Canva and walk around offering help when needed. Learning becomes active, not passive. The third point from the video, which I have taken, is the real learning happens through exploration, not memorization. Students remember what they discover, not what they are forced to memorize, which is a very important point I have noted in and applied in my daily life. Exploration builds curiosity and confidence. If a person have to memorize something for a certain task or certain marks, it is not going to apply in his daily life. But when a child discovers something by the process of failure or by the process of curiosity, it builds the confidence in the student. A child learning about plants will learn much faster by growing a small plant and observing changes than by just reading definition in the textbook. Like I used to remember my learning from the water flowing system in the plant is xylem and phloem, and they are the tissues. They bring the water and the food from the ground to the each and every leaf of the plant. So if a person has to grow the same plant and he is watching the same plant growing day by day, he learns much faster. So the fourth point from the video is classrooms should look like learning labs, not lecture halls. The speaker of the video emphasizes that the purpose of a classroom is to encourage experimentation, problem solving, and collaboration, not silent memorization. For example, imagine replacing cows or rows of desks with activity stations. One table for science experiments, one table for partner discussion, and one for digital search. Students rotate and work hands on. The environment itself promotes learning. The fifth point from the video is students learn better when they teach each others. When a student explains something to someone else, it strengthens understanding and builds leadership skills. If one student understands AutoCAD commands better, you let them teach the class how to draw basic shapes. They learn more deeply and the class relates better to peer teaching. So it is very important learning from the video that students learn better when they are teaching the same concept to their fellow students. Uh, In this way, the student prepare himself not for the exam purpose, but he or she want to deliver the exact concept in the easiest possible way to the audience or the fellow students. The sixth point from the video is failure should be treated as a learning opportunity. Mistakes are not a sign of weaknesses, they are proof that learning is happening. Students should feel safe to try again. For example, a student assembles a refrigeration unit incorrectly. Instead of scolding, you should ask what went wrong, what we can try differently. Like, what are the main procedures that a student have to follow, and what are the flaws, or what are the shortcomings that need to be corrected, so that this refrigeration unit must be working perfectly. This mindset builds resilience and real understanding, but the previous mindset, which is the scolding mindset, it only demotivates or lower the confidence of the students who is trying to learn something. 7 point from the video is students connect more with real life than theory. Context based learning helps students see why knowledge matters. Theory without application feels useless. Instead of explaining Ohm's law abstractly, you should show them how voltage and current affect a fan's speed. At home, they learn faster because they see the purpose. If a person have to memorize the Ohm's law, which is V is equal to IR, everyone knows that. But what is the relation between V and I, and what is the purpose of R? It can be explained with a real life physical example like fans example. So the eighth point from the video is teacher must become learners again. A good teacher constantly updates their knowledge and learns new methods. Students respect teachers who grow with time. You join an online course on digital learning tools and introduce new methods to your class. Students feel inspired because their teacher is also a learner. They think that if their teacher is going to learn the latest concept, then why don't they should adopt the same steps for their upbringing or for their learning procedures or learning the concepts. The ninth point from the video is the creativity and the critical thinking must be encouraged. Modern education demands creativity, problem solving, and flexible thinking, not just memorizing. For example, you give students an open ended challenge like design a simple machine to lift 2 kg weight using any items in this room. Students explore, imagine, fail, innovate, and that is the real learning. They are going to understand the concept of weight lifting, what is the weight, and how the weight is going to be lifted with lesser amount of energy to be used. And they are going to use the limited resources which are available in that room. In this scenario, they are going to learn more better than the concept of teaching through only theory lectures. So let me wind up the summary for of this video. So, the speaker of the video teaches us that the best classrooms are not spaces where teachers talks and students listen. They are spaces where students explore, question, try, fail, fix, and learn with ownership. So, this was the review of the today's video. I will be connecting with you soon with another video. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.